Welcome back, everyone, to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side Podcast. As always, that's Inka Yusuf and Akiadeke. Inka, what is happening?
Ade, my brother, I'm good. I'm very, very good.
Good.
I don't look good. Is it
No.
because I'm wearing black?
No, you look agitated and
I'm
irritable.
Nah. Maybe you're projecting your own situation on me. You're projecting your emotions on me. Obviously, I'm none of those, right? I'm none of those. It's a good Sunday evening here in Lagos. I don't know about you over there in DC, but
you're lying to yourself. But it's okay.
Okay.
It's
If
okay.
you say so.
It's okay.
If you say so. If you say so.
Anyway. You're right. We are recording on a Sunday. It's the 19th. Today is the 19th, right?
Yeah, today is the 19th.
19th of April. For some reason, I thought today was the 18th, but don't worry about it. Anyway.
No, today's 19th.
It's a couple hours after the big Arsenal at City showdown.
Yeah.
Which, fairly enough, lived up to expectation as a spectacle.
It depends on whose expectation.
No. Just as a football match, lived up to, because they hardly ever do, right? When the top teams clash, they hardly ever do.
Yeah, I know.
But one where both sides came to win it, we haven't seen that in a while. Just being honest, and there was enough quality. There was handbags. There was all kinds of stuff.
Handbags, indeed.
There was all kinds of stuff. There was drama. There was late misses, and So anyway, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is. How you doing, though? You good?
I'm good. I was rushing home to get to this game, right? I think I told you I was going to be traveling. So, I drove to, I think it was Greensboro, North Carolina, Thursday evening. Kid at a tournament. Probably took 6 hours to drive, coming back 5+ this morning. So, woke the kids up. Had to bribe them to wake up early so I could get here before. I didn't get here before though.
Yeah.
So I missed the first 30 minutes of the game, I think. Because the rain caught us on the road and stuff. I almost made it. I didn't make it. But it still took everything to get them to wake up at 6. So we could start.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
They don't care about Arsenal. Only I care about Arsenal. So but it is what it is. We made it, and now they have the rest of their day to do whatever they want to do. So they'll thank me later, I guess. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is gonna be a short one.
Yes.
We say that all the time, and then we don't make it a short.
No, I mean it this time around.
This time it will be a short one. All right.
I mean it this time around. Don't worry.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's start, Yinka, with what just happened this week. Let's do that in the top 5 leagues.
Yep. Okay. Straight into the top 5 leagues. Yes. So where do you want to start? Where do you want to start from?
Let's start from Ligue 1. I think PSG was playing earlier today.
Yeah, PSG lost at home today.
Yeah, they were playing. I saw a little bit of it. So
they were playing Lyon.
Yeah, they were playing that big, not a derby, but big matchup in France.
Yeah, it's a big matchup in France.
And so where does that leave PSG? They were up 4 points before. So what are they up now?
So they're up a point, but they have a game in hand. You know, the game the French Federation cancelled, or rather postponed for them.
Don't start. It's crazy.
Well, it is what it is. It is. It was postponed for, yeah. So they lost. They were losing 2-0. Then Kvaratskhelia scored in the 94th minute of like a 10 minutes injury time. And that like made the game a bit, it was a bit dicey towards the end. But Lyon, they were resolute and the game ended in favor of Lyon 2-1. So Lens have played one game more than PSG. And PSG is a point ahead of Lens. Now I don't know. I think PSG and Lens have played already. Yeah.
They played each other twice. Yeah. Already.
Yeah. So I don't think there's an opportunity unless PSG drop the ball again, which I sincerely doubt. Yeah.
You never know.
Okay. I think this is just
congestion is a thing, right?
Not for them, because the French Federation can look at them again and say, take the weekend off.
That's what I'm saying, but you have to make it up. They can't they won't extend the league for them, right? The league still has to end at the same
everybody needs to play. Yeah. Everybody needs to play the last game of the season at the same time. Yeah.
So at some point you need to take your medicine, you need to drink the poison.
You need to shut up. but it's gonna be an interesting run into the end of the season. Obviously the distractions PSG will have, based on the Champions League, and also like you said, the game in hand will end up catching up with them, because they will then have to play one or two midweek games just to cover. But it is what it is. That's the status in the French league.
Okay, let's go to Germany, where we have a new champion. Same as
at this point, I told you these guys they're just coasting. So they played.
It's official, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't even know. I just know they won today.
They needed a draw or a win because of the results. So now
I think. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It's 15. Yeah. Yes, you're right. They're the champions.
Yeah.
It's 34 games. They've played 30, and they are 15 points ahead. So you see what I'm saying now. So what's going to happen for Bayern now to the end of the season? They'll probably play defeated,
Yeah.
And PSG now have a league to defend, on their own side, because whether you like it or not. But I think they'll be fine. I think PSG have a big squad that can cater all these distractions. Bayern will just coast till the end of the season. I envy them though.
Syria
is also, like we said the last time, is almost done. I'm not sure if this happens. Every time I mention Syria, all my Apple devices they think I'm asking them a question.
Okay.
Anyway, so talking about the Italian league, so that I will avoid that. The Italian league, Juve won earlier on today or this evening. Milan won. I think Inter won yesterday or so. So they're now 12 points clear. With how many games to go? With 4 games to go. Yeah. So I think with a draw, a win next game, that's it. They will be champions. Inter will be champions.
All right. La Liga.
Yeah, so La Liga didn't have a game. They didn't have games this weekend. It was the Copa final. So it was Real Sociedad against Atletico Madrid. It ended up in PKs, and Atletico Madrid lost the finals to Real. The game was a funny one, because I actually caught bits and bob of it.
Saw the highlights. Yeah,
you saw the highlights also. I don't know why this guy believes that Lookman cannot last the whole 90 minutes or even 120 at this point. He was the main threat to Sociedad, and once they took him off, Yeah, so they scored after they took him off, or they equalized rather after they took him off. But I just think yeah, I just think it's better if you have him and Alvarez on the pitch together, as against replacing it with Bayern. Bayern is not. I'm sorry, Bayern didn't do that much. But they lost on PKs. So say that are champions. So Atletico now. I read somewhere. I don't know how true this is. It might not be true. That they've told Simeone that he has their blessings as long as he doesn't miss out on the Champions League slots, which I doubt he will, that he can play the B team till now until they play Arsenal. Yeah? So they more or less forfeited the league. And we just try and avoid losing in those games so that at least you can keep your Champions League place. Then you know, make sure nobody's injured for the semi-finals of the Champions League.
I don't think that's how it works. You know, I don't think that's how competitive sports work.
Okay.
You know, so these players are like, I know the owners think these players are like machines, right?
Yeah.
In a way they are, right?
Yeah.
Because like in the NBA, we always have this rust versus rest argument, right?
Yeah.
Players are conditioned to play every however many days, depending on the sport, right?
Yeah.
If you're a baseball player, you're conditioned to play every day.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes twice a day. You know, if you're in the NFL, once a week. When they start giving you a short week and you start playing on Thursdays, the quality drops, right? Because you're conditioned, you know, getting a full week of rest, Sunday to Sunday, Sunday to Sunday. When they start making you play one Sunday followed by Thursday, you know, the quality goes down.
Yeah. So
if you're
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. But I believe the way it will work is there are some people that are carrying knocks currently. All those kind of people, right? You ain't playing. Go rest up, get your knocks sorted out. The other people that are fine, you will give them 45 minutes and you will go the whole Wenger way of saying, you know, play with handbrakes on, right? Don't go into any silly tackle. Don't do anything silly. Yeah? It's very, very possible, Aki, right? It's not the way you think it will work. That's how, I don't think so. It's not, you're going to play. You're not just going to play as much, you know, as you would have ideally.
You're more likely to get injured when you're trying not to get injured. You've seen this before. You know that's how it goes. You know, if you're the kind of player that goes into tackles and you try to pull out of tackles, that's when you get injured. The best example of all this right now is Manchester United. You know, as someone reminded me, someone I didn't even know was paying attention, was like, they haven't played in a month.
Yeah, they haven't.
And what would you know? They didn't blast Chelsea with all that rest. There was one goal in that game with all the rest they got. You know what I'm saying? That's my point.
Yeah.
Like, these are finely tuned machines, right? You come in July, you hit your peak sometime in the cold months, and then, you know what I mean? And then the injuries start hitting you, whatever. But you're not supposed to go a month without playing in the middle of a season. That's not how. It's almost like you're starting your season all over again. But we shall see.
I think we're saying the same thing in a different way. It's halfway in between. Yeah. So we shall see. We'll see how it goes. So Atletico, they're fourth in La Liga. They're 11 points ahead of Real Betis, right? And there are 7 more games to go.
Okay.
So I want to believe that 11 points is massive enough for them to you know, play around with things a bit, you know, let the people that are injured, give them time to recuperate fully. And, you know, I think that's what's going to happen. But Barca 9 points clear, Real Madrid second, Villarreal surprisingly are still third, even though they got dumped out of the group stages of the Champions League. But that's it in Syria. That's it in La Liga. I think Barca wins this. I don't see them losing 3 games. Real Madrid winning out. It's not gonna happen. It's Barca's title already.
So, Inka, I started saying this last week about Atleti and the press conference with Griezmann. Remember all this?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And so here's my thing, right? Griezmann was there about 10 seasons, combined. He was there early, then he went to Barca, then he came back. With the loss in the Copa, he's gonna leave without winning any domestic trophies with Atleti. Which one you think about it is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Given his talent, given how talented Atleti were in those 10 seasons, sometimes these things just happen, right? When he went to Barca and Suarez came the other way, Atleti won La Liga while he was gone. And life is just funny sometimes. It's just
But it's been very, very good for them, and he will forever be a legend for them, right? Because to be fair, he might not have won anything for them on the pitch, but in terms of transfers and money, making money for Atleti, his transfers actually put money in their pocket and kind of gave the club some leeway to, although they didn't make the best use of the money by getting, is it Joao Felix that they got, or I can't remember. I think it was Joao Felix.
Yeah, Joao Felix. They put Joao Felix in. That didn't
they
work
got
out.
that didn't work out. And it's like, well, Barca, they kind of it's like they gave Barca Griezmann without the manual for Griezmann, if you get what I mean. They sold the product without how to use it, because he was okay in Barca, but you can't compare what Suarez did on this side and what he did on the other side.
No.
But I like him. He's a good player. He's a very, very good player.
So he's coming to MLS. He's coming to the Orlando, whatever their name is.
I was going to say Magic.
I know, right? It might as well be. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's not my life. It is what it is. Okay. The press conference I was talking about. Let me just read parts of it. The part that stood out the most to me, because Diego Simeone has a reputation for being a hard guy. A guy who goes at 150% all the time. But he showed like a softer side. This was the press conference before their last Champions League match, and they were both there. So Simeone was there, Griezmann was there. This is the translation. I told you I was trying to get my son to come read the Spanish version, but he wasn't interested. So I'll read the English version of it. So this is Diego Simeone. Says, sorry before the questions begin. Speaking both as a coach and as an Atletico fan, I wanted to thank you. Thank you for your work, for your humility. You're an admirable person in a society where young people need people like you. Thank you for everything you gave us, for what you are giving us, and for what you will continue to give us until the very last day. Thank you for your commitment, for the way you manage that relationship between coach and player, and later friend. I consider you first and foremost a player, and only then a friend. I care about you deeply. And then there's a pause, there's smiles, and then it goes, but you know that I'm your coach, and that if you don't run tomorrow, you're out. So that was the part that I love. That was the part that I love the most. And I'm like, even when he's trying to make a joke, he's still Diego Simeone.
He's still Diego Simeone.
You will be sitting right here beside me on the bench if you don't run in the game tomorrow.
Which is eventually what happened, though. He got tired. He got tired. He couldn't run anymore, and he was subbed out.
So, anyway,
and he was yanked down. Yeah.
But Yinka, and I know we're not talking about the EPL yet. We'll talk about the EPL, but I just feel like football fandom has lost context. maybe some of it is on purpose. Like you always say, your banter days are over. Maybe it's all just banter.
Yeah.
But I feel like context matters, right? And I've never looked at Diego Simeone and thought, what a failure. He's been there 14 years, I believe. People always talk about how much money he makes and this, that. But then I'm like, why don't you look at what they were the 14 years before he got there? That's a good comparison. 14 years is long enough. So look at the 14 years before, look at his 14 years, and see, are they pulling the kind of players he's pulling in the 14 years prior, where they've actually been a legitimate threat to the, what shall we call it, the duopoly of Barcelona and Real Madrid,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like we lose context sometimes, I don't know what your thoughts are on Simeone.
It's this clickbait. Is this current clickbait, attention driven, whatever that's causing all this nonsense? Yeah. And if Atletico Madrid had as many fans as the other people, or this was someone else, trust me, you will hear the noise a lot more. Yeah. But to be fair to the guy, he's in the same league with two juggernauts, with arguably two of the biggest clubs in the world and two of the top clubs that can attract talent. Yeah. And these two have been dominating. So he's only won, I think, three trophies in 14 years, I believe. That's Atletico Madrid.
Two of them league titles, though, right?
2 league titles, yeah. 2 league titles. But that's in 14 years. And the Atletico hierarchy are looking at him and like, we know what you're dealing with, right? You've kept us relevant. We are almost all the time, they are either third or fourth. I don't think they've ever gone down to fifth before, right? And that's what we need you to do. We need you to make money for us, stay close to Barca, and do well in Europe and the rest of it. So they're fine with him. So once again, context. Yeah, this is what you said. And the fans also understand this. They know that they'll be lucky if they are up when Real Madrid and Barca are both down at the same time. What is the probability that will be the case? It's very, very, very low, So I don't see Simeone as a failure. But trust me, based on the modern day metrics and these new day fans, and even old people that are all of a sudden, they've also lost all their, I don't want to say senses, but you get what I'm saying. They will say he's a failure. And that is absolutely ridiculous. You can't say that. Context matters. Yeah? Context matters. Anyway, you're right.
They've played 2 Champions League finals.
Yes.
In that period.
And if there had been VAR, been VAR, they would have won that one against Madrid because Ronaldo was offside on that particular goal.
No, it was.
They would have won. Yeah.
I think they've won Europa. I believe they've won Europa. It could be wrong. I can check. I think so. Yeah,
I can check.
And I think it was the year they beat Arsenal in the semi-final. I think it was the year.
Did they win that year?
It wasn't?
I think they won. I think they won. I think they won.
It was 2-1 and 0-0, I think, was the semi-final, if memory serves. But I think they won. And I think Griezmann was there when that happened. He just hasn't won a domestic cup.
Yeah, he was there. They beat us. He was there. I remember him playing in that match. Yeah?
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, they won the Europa League.
Okay.
Yep.
So he has won a Europa League. He has played 2 Champions League finals. He has won La Liga twice, which is the equivalent of lightning striking twice for Barcelona.
I think he won La Liga once. I think it was once.
I thought it's 1-2.
I think it's once. Yes. Okay. I think it's that Suarez season now. It wasn't that. It wasn't in 2013, 2014 or so.
But I thought it won 1 before. I thought there was a year that they won. Are you sure? Check it.
Okay, I'll check. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll check later.
But if they won twice, that's the equivalent of lightning striking twice for Barcelona and Real Madrid to not win, for neither of them to win in any year. I mean, we're still talking about the year Valencia won. That's how crazy it is for one of these two guys to not win. We're still talking about the Valencia trophy, the Valencia La Liga win. I mean, what, how many years later, right? It's crazy. But anyway.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think they won two. Sorry, apologies.
They won two.
They won two.
Yeah,
they won two.
La Liga.
They won one recently, maybe like a couple of years ago. Yeah.
That's
like five years ago or thereabout. And they won one in 2013, 2014.
Yeah,
yes.
Earlier in his tenure. Yeah. But anyway, good luck to Griezmann. We'll talk more about the matchup against Arsenal when we get to the Champions League.
Yes.
Let's go to the EPL.
Yes, sir.
We've already kind of talked about the big match today. Do you want to talk about other stuff real quick, and then we can focus a little bit more on the big match?
Yeah, other stuff. Spurs drew at home to Brighton. So Brighton scored in the 95th minute or thereabout. So Spurs are firmly in relegation now. Chelsea lost at home to United. Coincidentally, well, maybe not. Chelsea there was a protest outside of their stadium to protest, against the owners and how they're handling their club. And I'm like, this is, I don't know what else to say. You're jubilating that City beat you at home a week before, and a week after you're protesting against the owners. Are we, I don't know what else to say, man. Are we okay? Are we okay? You can't do that. You need to pick one. You can't be celebrating losing and turn around and next week have a home, going against your owners to say they've mismanaged the club. Isn't that what you wanted? A week ago, that was what you wanted. You wanted the club to remain mismanaged so that y'all could lose, to City. Yeah.
They loved all those players that these guys were buying for them. They loved it.
They loved all those, okay. Because once again, after the Arsenal game today, bulk of my timeline is filled with Chelsea fans celebrating again. And I'm like, are we okay? I'm sorry. I just don't get it. So when I tell you that my banter era is over, these are the kind of things that I'm not. Yes, you can be making fun of people, but you sit around Superman, but your own is worse. You're in a worse situation. The people that you're mocking are still top of the table, right? And then the semi-finals of the Champions League. You ain't nowhere near there. You're nowhere. You're the semi-final of the FA Cup, and you're world champions. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, so they lost at home to United. Funny enough, it was a decent game. Chelsea should have scored. They had multiple chances in the first half. And even the goal United scored was out of the blues, But you gotta give it to United to some extent, right? I thought that Chelsea, given the Champions League situation and looking at the league table, I thought they were going to really go after United, because the way it's looking, United might be comfortable in third or fourth, as it were. So I thought Chelsea, even in the second half, Chelsea will go at them, and second half, it's like they were Chelsea didn't do anything per se, to threaten United's goal. So it was an interesting match to me. Liverpool-Everton played earlier on today. Salah scored. Van Dijk scored a last-minute winner. Everton lost at home to Liverpool. Aston Villa played 4-3 with Sunderland. I'm just seeing that scores now. I didn't know, because last time I saw it was 3-1 in favor of Villa. I'm wondering how the game ended 4-3. But interestingly, on the other side of the table, Nottingham Forest won, right? Crystal Palace play West Ham tomorrow, and right now, the way the table looks, after Spurs loss or draw game, the game they drew yesterday, West Ham are now a point ahead of Spurs with a game in hand. So West Ham can even afford to lose tomorrow's game, and they will still be above Spurs. Yeah. Forest with the win, they're up to 36 points. Leeds up to 39 points. That's 8 points ahead of Spurs. That's 8 and 5 points respectively ahead of Spurs, and they've played the same number of games. Only 5 games left in the season. It's a shootout at this point. To be fair to Spurs, the game against Brighton, they were the better side. De Zerbi, I guess it's just a week. I agree, but you could see the difference in the mentality. They were more offensively oriented, and the equalizer by Rita for Brighton was actually a defensive blunder by Danso. Yeah, he turned in the wrong direction, and they got the ball off him, and he laid the ball off to Dorita, and he struck and he scored. So I just hope, not that I hope, it seems to me that it's a little bit too late. I like De Zerbi. I don't like Spurs. Yeah. And I think I hope De Zerbi will be fine. It will just be a payday for him. He's not going to follow them into the championship if they get relegated, if you get what I mean. Yeah. I wouldn't have taken the job if I were him anyway. But he's taking the job, so I guess I'll just add him to the list of the people that I don't like. So De Zerbi right now, I think you are getting what you deserve. You're getting what you deserve. So it's a tough one for Spurs. I think they're going down.
I think De Zerbi is, at this point, we can call him the pound store Conte. They're both behaving in the same way. They overstay their welcome wherever they go. Because who they chase out for Brighton? Why did they leave Brighton? There was no reason to leave Brighton. There was no reason to leave Marseille. Things were just beginning to really click in gear for him at Marseille, right? He could have stayed there, mounted a real challenge next season, title challenge, done something in Europe. But no, is now, having to coach something out of this lazy Spurs players. So yeah, for me, it's like you're not successful enough to be so itinerant. Let me put it that way. Like Conte can be jumping all over the place because wherever he goes, it will give you some level of success. For you, De Zerbi, your quote unquote success is like mid-table-ish, So why are you jumping around? And so it was going up against his former club. And you could tell those guys did not want to lose to him. And Brighton didn't play particularly well.
They didn't actually.
But that Spurs team was so bereft of confidence that Brighton didn't have to do much. The crowd did everything they could to back Spurs, but the players and Xavi Simon scored a worldie, out of nothing, good tackle, got the ball got to him, got it out his foot like as quickly as possible. That should have been game over at 2-1. Should have been game over.
Yeah. But he thought he got the winner actually. He was celebrating as if he was the winner. And everything.
So, but they got a point. A point is better than 0. They need more than that.
No, they need more. They need more at this point.
I have confidence because of who is coaching West Ham. But obviously, who knows, right? Who knows? But I need this to happen. This has to happen. This is an opportunity. I don't know when next these guys will be 16th and whatever they are now, back to back. So I need this to happen, just to For the years that we couldn't celebrate St. Tottenham's Day, there was 5 years that it finished ahead of Arsenal. 5 years.
Yeah.
In a row. This.
I think they're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna make it. I keep looking at their fixtures. They're not gonna stay up. They're not gonna stay up. That's going down. How does going down and making it? How does it correlate? Okay.
No, because it would make my day if they went down.
Then, of course, no. Because I'm looking at the fixtures, right? Yeah. So they're going away to Wolves. Let's even say they get 3 points there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then they come back. They're home to Villa. Then they're home to Leeds, which is it's a major 6-pointer. Right, then they're away to Chelsea, and then they're home to Everton on the last day of the season. The Chelsea, the Villa game, those are losses. Unless Chelsea wants to, I don't know, maybe Chelsea will be like, let's let Spurs win, because if Spurs win, they will stay up, and Arsenal fans will be unhappy. And since Arsenal fans' unhappiness is our that's our number one main objective. Unless Chelsea are that stupid, but they also need Champions League, so. I don't see Spurs staying up, unfortunately. Anyway, so I think that wraps up the other games in the EPL that I was talking about. Then we can go to the City Arsenal game today.
The one that you didn't want to talk about, but now you have to.
No, you say there's a lot to say. There's really not much. I'm just gonna. Really? I'm just gonna pundit this, and I will hand over to you. I just say what I saw.
Okay,
right?
Go for it.
The game panned out exactly the way I thought it would. Yeah. I told you last week that I hope Arsenal will win, but I think City will win it, right? As in the game.
You did.
Yeah, because it's a form thing, yeah. And you rightly said, when games like this, form get thrown out of the window. And I'm That's true. Form, Arsenal's form is not a function of the players just what's the word, having yips. No, this is not it. This is a function of people either coming back into form after injury, right? Or people just, almost close to burnout. Yeah. Okay. And that is exactly what happened. Once again, luckily we had Odegaard and Eze, so offensively you could see Arsenal created chances today. Yeah. Okay. But Rice and Zubimendi were, I think, dare I say, Rodri against those two guys. You could see, what's his name? Rice following Rodri all over the pitch, and I'm like, okay, interesting. I don't know whether that's the best tactics, but to some extent it worked, So I think they kind of canceled each other out, if you get what I mean. So the difference was more or less Ryan Cherki, Bernardo Silva, right, against Odegaard and Eze. Arsenal had decent chances, solid chances. They could have won the game, or they could have drawn the game. Yeah. The Kai Havertz last minute header, those are title deciding moments that you can't, there's no way, when I play football a little, they'll tell you always head the ball down as a striker, right? If he heads that ball down, it's a goal. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was at a good height for you, Eze hit the post. Kai had a chance before that to score. And City's 2 goals were literally moments of individual brilliance. And Gabriel, for all his hard work and whatever, he had a poor game today. On both goals, he was at fault. If Ryan Cherki is running towards you, you don't go to the ground. That's not what you do. And he did, and the guy just caught him, left him in his wake, and he scored the first goal. So it would have been a better game if both sides were on form, and so we had one side that was coasting, that was on fire, and we had the other side that was trying to play themselves into form. But it's not all negatives for us now. Positives, in my opinion. Mosquera at right back was very, very good. And this is the second game that he's playing right back that has been very, very good. Yeah, which is nice to see. That's one. Number two, Eze and Odegaard playing together, you could see the impact on the offensive side for us now. It was way better. Way better. Unfortunately, Noni Madueke is carrying a knock. Yeah, I know he started, but I wouldn't have started him once again.
I would have started Martinelli on the right, but yeah.
Exactly. I get it, but I wouldn't have started him because 45 minutes it was off again. You could see while he was running at players, you could see that this guy, the bust is not there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't start him then if that's the case.
Yeah.
What else? I like the Kai up front ahead of Havertz. He contributed to the offensive play of Arsenal because he could hold on to the ball ahead of Eucharist. Yeah, he contributed to the offensive play of Arsenal. He could hold on to the ball, but that last minute chance, you have to bury those. Right? So that's all I'm going to say for the game. Now, moving forward for the next 5 games, it's a shootout more or less at this point. Yeah, it's who can score more goals than the other. You win your game, score as many goals as possible. That's what it is. I told you, I said I don't think City will win out, right? Exactly. I also probably don't think Arsenal will. So at this point is who wants it more. Score, because now you're on the same points. If City win all their game in hands, they'll be on the same points with you. So it's going to end up with goal difference. Who's going to score more? Or who's going to concede less? Do you understand? Or who will win more games with a better goal difference? Let me put it that way. Yeah. So now it's a 5-game shootout. That's what it is. Yeah. And hopefully at the end of the 5, Arsenal will still be the winner. That's where my heart is. Yeah, but my head, looking at form, looking at everything, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. But that's my take on the game. What do you have to say?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will continue to bang this drum that, for me, I like to be data driven, right? So this is what I mean. Everyone kept saying City are informed. Yeah. So I went to look at the form table, the EPL form table. So this is the last 5 matches, EPL matches for City. So going back to game 5, they won. The next 2 they drew, and then they won 1, and then today they've won 1. Okay. So that means of a possible 15 points. They've taken 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Arsenal are in terrible form, they say. Right? Their last 5 win, lose, and then they lost today. So of a possible 15, they won 9 points. The difference in the form table is 2 points between these 2 teams.
Okay.
It's 2 points.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
In that same period, they went head to head against each other in the cup, and City won 1/2. In that same period, City got blasted home and away by Real Madrid.
Okay.
But everyone's pretending that didn't happen.
Okay.
In that same, I'm going somewhere with this. In that same period,
I'm listening.
Right? Okay. So the net of all this is City have played 32 times, Arsenal 33 times. City have won 20, won 7, lost 5, scored 67 times. Scored 65 times, conceded 29, which is actually pretty good for them because they're not known for their defense, but they've done really well. Goals difference of 36. Arsenal 121, same number of draws 7, same number of losses 5, 3 points ahead at 70 points, 2 fewer goals scored 63. 3 fewer goals conceded, 26. Goals difference of 37. They're one goal difference better, right? So I'm like, can we not be hyperbolic in all these analysis? You know, can we not impute to this City team the excellence of City teams past? Can we not impute to this Guardiola the excellence of Guardiola's past? You know what I mean? All this nonsense about City become a monster in April. Let them become monster first before we talk.
Okay.
On the form table, they have 3 wins and 2 draws. Arsenal have 3 wins and 2 losses. One was a narrow loss today, one was a bad loss last week to Bournemouth. Guess who has to go to Bournemouth in their running? City.
Yeah.
They also have to host Brentford. Who are the 2 teams I told you I would not want to play?
Bournemouth and Brentford.
I said that last
yeah.
week. So I'm like, just stop gaslighting me. Everybody that gets paid to talk about this stuff. They've already started. Go ahead, Nika.
Okay, so I'm not like those people, right? I will tell you, I'm not like those people. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying City is. You have conveniently removed some games that really gave City the confidence. The games that I am referring to that brought them into form, right? After their loss to Madrid, yeah. The game away to Madrid was the odd one out. At home to Madrid, the red card messed them up and everything. I get all of that. So, and it's Champions League, it's cup football, anything can happen. But then, City played the Carabao Cup final against us, which was your opportunity or Arsenal's opportunity, right, to really, really suck the life out of them. Yeah? And unfortunately, Arsenal did not show up. Yeah?
Okay.
Then a couple of weeks after, or maybe a couple of days after, we were like, oh, Liverpool are coming to town, FA Cup quarterfinal. Liverpool will, they will show City. Remember what happened? City spanked them 4-0. Yeah?
Yeah. Context.
Then we said, oh, Chelsea. No, hold on now. Let me land. Then we said, oh, Chelsea. Oh, Chelsea, they are going for Champions League. Chelsea will do this. Chelsea will do that. They comfortably spanked Chelsea 3-0. So what I'm telling you is, if you have played Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, those are 3 of the top 4 within your whatever, and you've beat them, albeit not convincingly because of the Arsenal, but you beat the other 2 convincingly, right? And you're coming into the game against Arsenal again, who are just on the eve of losing to Bournemouth, drawing at home to Sporting, and barely beating Sporting away. Okay, it is fair for me to tell you City is on form and Arsenal isn't. So you've taken 5 games in the EPL, yeah, which is fair.
Yes, because we're talking about the EPL.
No, we're talking about it's the same club that is playing now. So
maybe not.
If it were different teams, hold on now. If it were different teams that play Champions League, there is a roll on. There is an impact. There is an effect of whatever happens. It will affect what happens in the game in the games that you're playing. So Arsenal had a midweek game, right? I believe it was a midweek game. City didn't have any. Some part of the people that played in the midweek game, what's his name? Madueke got injured, right? We thought he wasn't going to play, right? But he came back and he played, and he didn't really play. 45 minutes he was off, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, it's the same crop of players, right? That are playing. It's not a different set of people. So I hear you and I agree with you. Premier League form, yes, is almost the same. In fact, their records are almost identical, Arsenal and City at this point. Almost identical. But I'm saying the build up to this game, the last 3 games that City played, they were supposedly tough games for them. Supposedly. And they blew the competition out of the water. Completely. Arsenal, on the other hand, supposedly tough games also. Arsenal struggled. You can't tell me Arsenal didn't struggle away to Sporting. You can't tell me Arsenal didn't struggle at home to Sporting. And you can't also tell me they didn't struggle at home to Bournemouth.
So, okay, I have to say this. I think against Bournemouth was a bad result. It was an indifferent performance and a bad result. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as bad as everybody was making it out to be, because context matters, right? Let's put it that way.
Yes.
We cannot say that Carabao Cup was club football, but Real Madrid was not. You know, I mean, everything was happening right around the same time.
Yeah.
It all matters.
Yeah.
You understand? It all matters.
You know,
right?
which is why I said that I thought in that Carabao game it was the opportunity for you to knock the life out of them, because Real Madrid gave you an early hoop. Yeah? That was, and I was expecting Arsenal to dunk it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Arsenal did not show up at all in that game.
Yeah.
But there's also a reason why they didn't show up in that game. There's also context. Exactly my point. Exactly.
So, Boyinka, there's a reason that you believe that City will drop points and Arsenal may drop points. There's a reason.
That I believe. It's the same reason now. City drew games at home that they shouldn't have drawn now. They were home to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Right? They were home to Middlesbrough. Well, sorry, I said Middlesbrough. Nottingham Forest, sorry. Right? Yeah. And they drew 2-2. And I think they went away to West Ham and they drew. Exactly. So that's my point. So I was just talking about this game. And I get your point that you're talking about the other people, not me.
Yes.
But in terms of the form, in terms of the form for this game, City were entering the game with a lot more, right? And when I saw the Arsenal lineup, I was impressed. I was like, this is a better lineup. This is an offensive-minded lineup. And it showed in the game. So nobody can come and say, oh, Arsenal packed the bus. Arsenal didn't pack the bus today. They went there to win it. Yeah? It's just unfortunate that the role of the dice didn't go in their favor. Havertz was more clinical. Arsenal will have taken 3 points, if you get what I mean. Yeah? So, which is why I'm looking towards the next 5 games of the season, Aki. It's going to be a shootout. That's what it is. It is going to be a shootout for the next 5 games of the season.
I want to be fair and complete.
Yes.
So, I had so much confidence about this game. I had confidence from the first.
You always have confidence, Akin. You always.
Okay.
You always.
But if you notice, it's always about City, not Liverpool. When we were going to Anfield, I was hoping we would win.
Yeah.
Right? I was hoping we would win. But going to the Etihad or Emptyhad, I was sure we would win. Because context matters. You know, styles make fights. You know what I mean? Well, you're right about Gabriel. You know, I don't know about the first. I think Eze could have done more on that first goal.
Eze started the issue, but as Ryan Cherky was running at Gabriel, you had no business kneeling. You had no business kneeling. Just stay on your feet and you'll be fine.
Pointed. Rice, I'm like, why are you pointing? Get there, you know. So it wasn't. They didn't cover themselves in glory. But our second one was really bad. And if you blink, you miss it. In real time, right? When the camera pans just right and you see the build-up from the throw-in, it made Gabriel look really, really, really bad. Like, you guys were tussling and holding and grabbing each other. How did he get a foot away from you? How?
Yeah.
That should never happen.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to blame anybody. I think the only Arsenal player that didn't play well was Madueke, and there was mitigation for it. I think everybody else played. Even Raya, who, again, made a bad mistake. But his bad mistake paled in comparison to Donnarumma's. Donnarumma's bad mistake was worse. But even Donnarumma redeemed himself with an absolute world-class save.
World saves. Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, everybody played well. You know, this is how Liverpool and Man City used to play each other. You know, we're back to that now. You know, so from a partisan's point of view, which is mine, even a 2-2 I would have been disappointed with a 2-2. And the reality is, I think we had more chances. They had better chances, if that makes sense. Like that Eze inside of the post thing should not have even been a chance. And, the average player doesn't even get that shot off. So that was a very difficult shot, right? But most times when you're able to get it off, it scores. The header at the end, I've seen. So again, this is the gaslighting I'm talking about. It was a bad miss. It was a very bad miss. But guess who I've seen miss that many times? Erling Haaland. I've seen him miss that many times. Not once, not twice. So this thing, I know you said season defining. I don't believe that. I don't want to put this on a guy who has played, 2 hours of ball in 18 months?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, these guys are finely tuned machines. Okay? And this one has had 3 surgeries. It's been out. For me, I just don't think anything is on fire. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm
no. So hear me out. Yeah. I hear you, and I think I'm closer to you than the outside world and the madness that is going on, right? So I'm not blaming Havertz, right? But I'm not blaming him. But I can tell you, if that went in, that's a draw. That's a 3-point cushion.
I agree.
Do you understand my point? You can't tell me, right, that is not critical at this stage of the season. That's what I'm saying. But I don't blame him, right? Yeah. People miss chances. Haaland missed one. He hit the post earlier on in the game that ideally he should have scored, right? So, but people will not remember that. They will only remember the one he scored. So I'm not. I told you this from like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said it. I said the team is crawling to the finish line at this point. So it is left. It is left for the coach and everybody to rally around and get the best out. Now we're where we are, right? It's all good. The next 5 games is a shootout. I'm saying it again. This is now a shootout. The starting lineup that played today, except whoever is going to replace Madueke, this should be the lineup.
It has to be Martinelli.
That should be the lineup that should play for the rest of the season. Yeah? That has to be the lineup that should play for the rest of the season. You have to play Eze and Odegaard together. You
have to play Eze on the left. Don't just say together.
Aki,
on the left.
I really don't. Aki, I don't care where he plays because even today, see the goal, the ball that he hit the post. Was he on the left wing? He knows he's intelligent enough to drift in and do his thing.
Sure.
All I'm saying is the reason why Arsenal ticked offensively today is because Eze and Odegaard played. And also because, you had Kai who could hold on to the ball and bring people into play, which Gyökeres wasn't doing too well in the recent games. But you get what I'm saying?
I understand.
So it's a shootout. It's a shootout. It's gotten to the point where you can look at either Rice or Zubimendi and say, you know what? If other than Champions League games, I don't even expect a pivot of those two in the rest of the 5 games that we're playing this season. Play either one of them in each game. Oh yeah, right. Start this one. Zubimendi start. Play Eze and Odegaard. If they are fit, they have to start. Because right now it's a shootout. It's who can score more goals and concede less. That's it. Because you will most likely end up on the same points.
I think we won't. So I like making predictions, even if I'm always wrong.
But my own predictions are getting a lot more correct. Than you
You're sitting on the fence. You're sitting on the fence.
No.
If your prediction is, I'm not making a prediction.
Point. Example. I told the City was going to win, right? Okay. I told you were going to win.
Okay.
And what happened?
Broken clock.
My side of the UCL, which we quickly need to talk about because we're almost done.
Okay.
My side of the UCL bracket is. I even still got it right, despite the fact that I picked Barca. I told you I was worried about Barca. Remember?
Yeah.
I told you I was worried about Barca, that this finish they have with Atletico might be a problem. And that is exactly what ended up happening.
It happened before it happened again.
Anyway, so let's wrap the EPL and quickly talk about...
We'll wrap it. Let's keep it
moving.
Let's
keep it moving. So let's talk about the UCL and then we can call it a day. Yeah?
Okay. All right. Yeah, go for it.
So the UCL in the second round of the second leg of the quarterfinals. It's quarterfinals, right? It's quarterfinals, yeah. So we've already spoken about Arsenal. Arsenal drew at home to Lisbon. Professional performance, in my opinion, for a team that was, that was coming into with all the issues that they had. For me, that was a perfect night. I don't know the nonsense that people are talking about. I didn't care one bit. That's Arsenal. Barca, Atletico Madrid. I told you. I said I was worried about Barca, right? Now, the people arguing that Arsenal were playing cautious football, they are the same people that are looking at Barca and they are shouting at them. You can't have it both ways, right? Yeah. The Barca fans that are complaining, that are shouting, right? Atletico, the second time they're knocking us off, I'm like, you have to find that balance. You guys are too offensively oriented and you let your defense suffer. The same thing happened again. You got another red card. Another red card. What the hell is going on? And Lookman, they was on the counter. Lookman scores. There's a way you play these things. Once you were 2-0, all you needed to do was calm down.
They can't do that.
Settle, but you can't. No, but so you can't eat your cake and have it. If you're always shouting, we play offensive football. This is what happens in cup football. Someone will sucker punch you, and before you know, you're home. You will be at home, and this is exactly what happened to them, right? So Barca, I'm happy you all broke my bracket, right? But see, Lookman is my guy. Is for obvious reasons, Akin, which you know. Lookman is my guy. I'm happy they went through. My bracket is broken, I get it, but Barca, you can't continue to play like this in Europe. I'm sorry. Yeah? You need. There's a bit of caution, the same caution that Atletico used against you, right? You scored 2 goals. All you needed to do was just chill a bit. Don't.
They can't.
But you're right. They can't.
They can't.
DNA. They can't. Then on the other side of the bracket, PSG obviously came into Liverpool, beat them, collected their lunch money. It was a disaster. It was a major disaster. Then the Madrid Bayern game, that was, imagine the two of them were actually close to remontadas, as in Barca and Madrid, and they were shouting remontada. They almost did it, right? The indiscipline again from Camavinga. This is the same way he got sent off against Arsenal last year. Exactly the same thing. They've given a free kick against you. What are you doing? Just go.
Yeah.
Just go. Don't make it so obvious. And the ref rightly booked him. But I thought I thought the ref. What I think is that the ref didn't know it was on a yellow.
He didn't know. I saw it.
If he had known it was on a yellow, he wouldn't have booked him. Yeah. But you can't blame the ref for booking him. That was a valid yellow card. They thrown the ball against you. Just go. What are you doing? Yeah. But other than that, the game itself was interesting. Michael Olise is arguably the best right winger in world football right now. Let me say arguably. Right now, he is. And that goal that he scored in the CBS interview, Henry was asking him. Henry said, at the Olympics, I warned you, when things like this happen, you go to the byline. What are you doing? Why didn't you go to the byline again? And it was like, coach, I scored. It was like, coach, I scored. It was a good goal. Good game. But once again, these games require caution. Right? These games require, you just don't go gongo in Champions League, in all these critical games. That's not how you play them. Having said that, Trent Alexander-Arnold, his defensive issues, my God. I don't even know what to say.
It's taking over his entire game now, right?
I'm telling you, it is so bad that he is so much of a defensive liability that his offensive strength, as a coach, I will ignore it. I will ignore his offense and say, you are too much of a liability for me to have you play. You saw Bayern's first goal. The dude was right in front of him. He didn't even do any defensive action. Nothing. So interesting. Anyway, so the semi-final is Arsenal, Atleti.
Before we move on,
Okay.
Manuel Neuer. Remember, first leg, we were talking about the big save from Manuel Neuer.
Yeah.
And what was the name of the Man U goalkeeper that was saying best save he's ever seen in his life? Schmeichel. And we both said that was a bit much. The first 2 goals from Real Madrid were Neuer mistakes. The first 2. And how often can you make 2 big goalkeeping errors and not lose the game?
So this has always been the problem with Neuer, right?
Yeah.
Neuer has mistakes in him. You remember as Bayern at the Emirates, right?
Yeah.
But the reason why you will definitely overlook these mistakes is there are so many other goals that if it was any other goalkeeper that was in post, it's a goal.
It would score. Yeah.
So he has earned the right to make mistakes, right? And these mistakes, I'm talking Onana level mistakes.
Oh yeah. He has it in him.
But Onana does not have enough saves to earn those mistakes. That's the difference. But Neuer, in the same game, he will give you, he will save Bayern, if you get what I mean. Yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
And you remember last season too, when Madrid, I think it was Madrid that knocked them out, that knocked Bayern out, I believe. I think it was Madrid, wasn't it?
I don't remember, to be honest.
I can't remember. Was it last season or 2 seasons? I think it was last season.
2 seasons ago, they knocked Arsenal out of the quarterfinals. Bayern did.
No.
2 seasons ago. Yeah, they did.
No, 2 seasons. Yeah, so last season it was Madrid that knocked knocked Bayern out. This guy made a mistake. What's his name? No. I think it was the season that they won it. It was the season that Real Madrid won it. That did not Bayern. He made a mistake in that game too at the what do you call it, at Bernabeu, right? Yeah, that this Spanish guy that came on loan scored. I've forgotten his name. Anyway, so he has those mistakes in him, but at the same time, fantastic saves. Year in, year out, at 40-41, he's still one of the best goalkeepers in world football, right? He is one of the best. Absolutely. Yeah?
Okay. You were going to wrap the Champions League.
Yes, I was going to wrap the Champions League. So we have the next matchup, which is Atletico Madrid Arsenal and PSG Bayern Munich. Yeah?
Yeah.
My bracket is still right on the left side. So I'm still going with Bayern beating PSG. Yeah. And Bayern to the final. And Arsenal, Atletico. Arsenal beating Atletico because I had Arsenal in the final anyway. Yeah. So it's going to be a Bayern. I think it's going to be a Bayern Arsenal final. Yeah. The Atletico game is a better game for Arsenal than the Barca game. Yeah, it's a better matchup for Arsenal than Barca. I am absolutely certain it's a better matchup, right? Because you know what will happen? Because of Arteta's cautiousness, what will happen is once Barca starts pummeling us offensively, right? People, we can't. Do you understand? We're not going to go into a long-go battle with them. But Atletico, they are not at the same offensive level with Barca. Yeah? And frankly, Atletico, I tell you, they are lacking height across board. Yeah? So if there are people that you can bully in terms of set pieces at times, you will most likely be able to bully Atletico more than you can bully Barca. Yeah? If you get what I mean. And we've played them before. There is that confidence that will come out of it. Yeah. So I don't if you expect 4-0 again, you're deceiving yourself. It's not gonna be 4-0, right? It's not gonna be 4-0. It's gonna be a cagey game, right? But I think Arsenal will go through. And Arsenal will play Bayern in the final. And when that happens, we'll come and discuss who will win that one. I won't say anything about that one for now.
I think I'll tell you what I want to happen.
Okay.
I think Atleti, Arsenal, I expect Arsenal to get through.
Okay.
And then PSG, Bayern, they've met a couple times in the last 5 years. big high stakes matchups, finals and semifinals they've met.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather play PSG. I've told you this. I would rather play PSG than Bayern. I think PSG have a blow hot and cold thing to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think I want revenge for last year. As great as they were last year.
Yeah.
They didn't blow Arsenal away. As great as they were,
Yeah.
So I would rather play them. And I don't think they are this season what they were last season. Bayern can be a little scary. I think either one. Final is one game. Who knows? Neutral ground.
Absolutely. You've taken it out of my mouth. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Neutral ground. But my big confidence actually comes from the game today. I wasn't sure that Arsenal could win 5 of their last 5 matches in the EPL until what I saw today. I think they got the psychological boost that they needed. I think they got the requisite anger that they needed. And I think you kind of alluded to it. They unlocked a system that might work. Because, look, nobody is a bigger believer than I am. But even I had doubts that we'll ever be free-flowing again. We were free-flowing today. We didn't put all the stuff away, but we were free-flowing today. So I'm like, I'm sad, I'm mad, but I'm chill. Like I feel like we can win the league. I feel like we can win the Champions League.
Absolutely.
And I don't think I'm deceiving myself.
I don't either. Like, and if we don't, big deal.
Okay. But
it's okay.
Would you rather be City or Arsenal even today, right now?
Today, right now.
Points in the bag or game in hand? With 3
points. It really doesn't matter.
Okay.
So the only reason why I can say, the reason why Arsenal had the blip, quote and unquote, over this past whatever, that everything seems to, it's not that as if there was a blip defensively. The problem is there was a blip offensively. And that coincided with you not having your offensive juggernaut, right? That is what happened. So which is why I'm happy. Bournemouth scored 2 at home when we played them. The only difference is we scored 3. And in that game, it was Saka, Odegaard, and Rice that finished them. Saka with assist, Odegaard with assist. Those 2 people are not there. Right? The Carabao Cup, they were not there. And when they were not in form. Saka is currently not. So this is the offensive side of things that I was worried about, or that caused all these issues that we have. City, on the other hand, City don't have the same issue. They probably would have, but what happened in January? They went and they bought the 2 best players outside of the top 6. That's what they did. And remember, I told you that Arsenal should have gone to the transfer market in January. But
I agree with you 1,000%.
What's under the bridge? But they should have, right? Yeah. But that is what gave City that boost. Because when Haaland was firing blanks, guess who was on fire? Semenyo.
Yeah, and Turkey. Yeah.
And Turkey, although they got Turkey earlier on in the season. But you get my point. So now, City are pouring offensively. Yeah? But something happened today that is key.
Okay.
Rodri left the pitch with a groin.
Groin. Yeah. And I don't think it was faking. People thought it was faking. I don't
think it wasn't faking. Right?
There was no one around him when he raised his hand.
And
non-contact.
It is not a coincidence that City are a better team all of a sudden when Rodri was in form.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is there's a lot to play for the next 5 games. But to answer your question, I don't mind. I'll be Arsenal.
Okay.
Frankly,
I think I'd rather have the points. I'd rather be +1 goals difference. Look, Burnley may already be on the beach. They've already been relegated. Burnley may be a 1-7 loss to City. I don't know. It's very possible. It's very possible. But my hope is on Bournemouth because this weekend, They went to Newcastle and they beat Newcastle 2-1.
So this is the thing. thing. The only game here we should wrap, frankly. Mm-hmm. The only game that Arsenal have that looks a bit problematic for me is the away to West Ham. And I will tell you why.
Okay, tell me.
West Ham need the points.
Okay.
And that's it.
But they're not good.
So, don't get me wrong. So, desperation at times, these things, do you understand? Right? But the other bit you should notice is Arsenal are not leaving London for the last 5 games.
Yeah. That's real.
So, the only away game Arsenal have is away to Spain.
Yeah.
Once the rest of the games this season is at home. Yeah. So, which is why I said it's a shootout. It's a bloody shootout for the last 5 games. Yeah. And let the best team win. And if City win it, I'll applaud them and I'll move on. Right. And all the people that are saying Arteta fired, Arteta whatever, all the people saying Arsenal, yeah, butlers, yeah, whatever. Frankly, me is noise in here, noise out there. Yeah. It's just is insane. Is people, like you say, context matters, but people just want to banter. And I think I'm beginning to think that the banter for these guys is also a cope mechanism at this point. If you get what I mean. Yeah. Because why would a Liverpool, United, Chelsea fan, why are you mocking Arsenal? You wish you were Arsenal right now. Yes or no? Yeah. Semi-final Champions League, top of the league in April.
Still top of the league.
The league. We can leave it at that.
All right, we'll leave it at that. For me, I have a donkey of the week. It would be all these pundits who get paid handsomely to not have a real opinion. If your opinion changes by results, then I don't respect you, because you should know more than I know. You know, we shouldn't all have to wait until the games have been played before we have any insights. Like, what are you teaching me for all the millions of pounds you're getting paid? What are you teaching me? Let me quickly add to what you just said.
And the people that don't see beyond the results. If you get what I mean, right? There is everything to them is results. They don't look at any other thing or even how the result happened. There is if I've said this before, if we are all of us are just result oriented, then we should just wait at the end of. Don't watch the games. Just wait. When the game is over, listen to BBC. The Premier League scores for the day: Arsenal 3, Manchester City 0. United. That's what we should be doing. Then no matter to watch the game. So we watch the game for a reason. We are students of the game. You understand? You just don't come and start saying, you say one thing today, you say the other. I'm like, what is going on with you people? I know the pundits you're talking about, by the way. So, but no need to mention their name. There are plenty.
Okay.
There are plenty.
All right. So Yinka, let's wrap. We've gone way over.
Yes.
So subscribe, like, send to friends, all of that. And we'll see you next week. Yinka, you want to say goodbye?
Yeah, thanks everyone. Big up, bit of uptick in our numbers over the past 1 or 2 weeks. Thank you very much. You guys are doing the right thing. Like Oliver Twist, we want more, right? So please, you do the needful. Where you need to like, where you need to subscribe, where you need to tell your friends. And please send us questions. We've not had questions in a while. We are more than happy to entertain them and discuss them on your show. Thanks, Aki.
Thank you, Yinka. Thank you, everyone. Go Arsenal, in spite of everything. We'll be back next week, and goodbye.
Night, people.